What are we talking about today, girl? A lot of foolish shit. Makeup that you could sleep in. First of all, jail.
Tarte has this apology written out on their wall at corporate.
In Comic Sans. Nobody from the brand will admit it, except for behind closed doors when people have talked to me from the brand saying they're in trouble.
It's giving Luminous Natural Matte of the hair care world.
It's the Guerlain Aqua Luminous Matte Foundation. Yeah, babe. Girl, this Pet Cemetery version of Fleshpot, you're not my child and you never will be. You're not the same. How you doing, girl?
Do I look studious?
You do. Is this the new shirt?
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, we just went to Zara yesterday.
I like it.
Which we were saying, so obviously you see the shoulders are like beyond my shoulders because this was a large. Length.
Medium.
Oh, girl, we were saying
Small.
why do American clothes, as the size gets bigger, they just get wider, not longer?
Yeah, I don't get, and every time, because we are tall, that I need clothes that go longer. So H&M actually had long fit shirts, and when I saw that, I was like, work, mama. Because they didn't go wider, they went longer as the size went up, and I said, oh!
It drives me insane. Because if you want to tuck in a shirt, our height, you have 1 inch. Like you're like, hello, how are you? Because if you lift your arms, it's going to come untucked.
Oh, and you're only going to get half the story.
It's so ridiculous.
Oh, God.
It's so ridiculous.
It really is. Well, should we talk about the elephant in the room?
Your hair?
My hair.
I was going to say.
I don't think you can even tell on camera. I put a
from here, it look from here. And over there, it looks like lighting. Like it looks like the pink floods hitting your hair.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted.
Yeah.
With this color, because
That's why when you got here, I asked you if it was like powder you just raked in. Because it looks like you literally brushed it through.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. And I saturated the hair, but I knew how this color deposits. This is from Good Dye Young. It's called Pink Puff.
Okay.
When I tell you, mama, I love this shade because Pink Puff. And I loved that it was like when I put it on like an extension to try to see like the color when it came out, I was like, ooh, the way that it like picks up on blonde and it's almost just like a shadow of that color. It almost looks like the light dance in the shadow of the pink.
Yeah.
I'm dancing in the shadow of the pink. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I wanted. I didn't want like hot pink right away because I wanted something fun for the summer.
Yeah,
and
like baby pink.
Little,
it's
like,
cute.
A little, a little
baby pink. Yeah. It looks like the,
Yeah, it's just, that's what I want. So, and
we're just slowly going to blend in with the set.
I know. And it's so funny because
it's just going to be curtains and 2 eyes. Like,
oh my God. And literally, it's going to be one of those, the TikTok videos where they just paint their bodies and open their eyes. They're like, They like blend into their furniture. That's me.
Yeah. No, I love it.
God, thank you.
I love it. And it's demi-permanent, I'm assuming.
It's demi-permanent, so it lasts for a few weeks, but pastels usually don't last for that long, which is even better.
Debbie. Pastels.
Demi-pastel.
Demi-pastel. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. Demi-pastel.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. What are we talking about today, girl? We got a lot going on. A lot of foolish shit.
We do have a lot going on. So we are talking about the founder of Youthforia, as well as the brand as a whole, because I guess
finally
she represents the brand as a whole, finally responded to the 600 shade
Armageddon
that they came out with.
That you unleashed on the world.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on this a couple episodes ago, so make sure to check that out. But finally responded, and then it's funny, we weren't necessarily going to do like maybe a super deep dive into Fenty Beauty because we kind of covered it on Downfall of Kylie Jenner, because we started talking about celebrity
brands on the decline or whatever,
and like celebrity brands.
And
what ended up happening was Robert Welsh on YouTube here did a whole video about Fenty Beauty and took a clip from that episode, which we love you, Robert. That made our day. We were in the city watching it in a taxi.
Yes. Oh my God.
So thank you for that. But now with Fenty Hair just was announced, it kind of made us, okay, we were like, okay, Fenty Hair. But then we were like, we need to talk about the brand as a whole to talk about Fenty Hair.
I have so many thoughts too when we get there. It is like...
So that's the bulk of the episode is going to be the Youthforia and Fenty as well. What is your lip? I was going to ask you because people are going to ask.
My lip is... I don't know if they still make this, but it's all from MAC. 2 of the products I think are discontinued. So it was the chromatic pencil in... purple. It was like the eye, lip, face. You could use them anywhere. Not eye, lip, face.
Yeah.
Oh, girl. It was in the shade Rich Purple.
Rich.
Yeah, what were chromographic. I'm sorry, chromographic pencils.
Okay.
And then it's matte royal lipstick. And then I topped it with Violetta.
We're gonna be royals. I blame her for everyone singing that way now.
Wow,
all these indie artists.
Yeah,
am I right?
Lorde was the one that...
All of these indie artists singing like, Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
I blame Marilyn.
I can't
Marilyn started.
Yeah. I blame let her rest.
But girl, no, there's another collection coming out from some makeup collection that's... Miss Marilyn.
Give it a rest.
That she didn't wear those colors.
Yes, give it a rest. And let her rest. Give her a rest.
Girl, and stop putting her dresses on.
Who?
Kim Kardashian. When it was that whole thing of her zipping her up in that dress and it was like popping at the seam. And I was like, girl, come on now.
I know.
That's foolish.
Yeah.
She don't fit that. And they were like, oh my God, that's like a artifact and you're literally destroying it for whatever it was, whatever.
Met Gala, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the Met Gala.
Yeah.
God, I can't. Yeah. Oh my God, girl. And then we have a little MAC tea otherwise.
Yes.
Which I got my hands on about a week and a half ago.
Yes.
Before they even launched.
Yes. Personal topics as well. We have, that MAC. I just got over. Yeah, I be shitting. I just got over the Norovirus. So thank you all for your patience with last week's episode on YouTube specifically because it was, a challenge. As well as, I saw Julia Louis Dreyfus in the city on my anniversary with my husband, which just passed. Let's take a break and then dive into all this hot goss.
Let's do it, girl.
Girl, I had the Norovirus. Woke up with it last Wednesday or Thursday. It is something wicked from the devil, from the devil doth bestow. It was, woke up, literally had to run to the bathroom. Let's just say liquid on both ends for 3 days straight. It's apparently a gastrointestinal infection from not like food poisoning, but they say like the number one way it's passed in adults. It's very common with kids, kind of like pink eye. Because
dirty,
because it's like the number one way it's passed for with adults. They said like 70% is when through food. Like if someone's making your food and doesn't wash their hands, what gets into your food. So that's lovely to think about. As I was, as it was coming out of both ends. Yeah. So it's like those symptoms. Excrement from the top and bottom, as well as body aches. Like you have a fever, I had a headache, a neck ache, exhaustion, like fatigue. Like I slept for 3 days straight. It was absolutely horrendous. I don't wish it on anybody. But I was saying if anybody gets this, because apparently it's going around.
Which is concerning in the sense of like, is it contagious person to person? Can you get it?
Very.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, like, are there just like a mass amount of people just not washing their hands? Or can you pass it to someone?
You can pass it to someone. They were describing it as apparently the biggest way it's like passed from person to person because it's I don't know the word, what COVID is. Aero something, meaning like if someone coughs or sneezes or throws up with it,
airborne.
The spores are then all in the air.
So it's all air. It's an airborne illness where it can be contracted. So,
which is, as we all learned, a very quick way to pass something.
Right.
So I guess it's just gained momentum recently, and a lot of my sister had it the week before me. So and I didn't even see her. I still haven't seen her since then. So it's like
all
going
because
around.
Somebody wiped their ass and didn't wash their hands and made some food.
Made my burger. Yeah, made my disco fries.
You made me a disco. Oh, girl, they better not have.
I asked for brown gravy, not brown gravy.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Ooh,
can you even? So I put
the D in disco.
They put the D in disco fries.
Oh God!
If you get it, word to the wise, I'll pass my wisdom along. Imodium will stop the number 2 quicker than you know. I didn't go to the bathroom for 3 days, but you trust me, you don't want
Corked
to after
you
that,
up.
girl. And then Dramamine to calm the nausea.
It's funny. I never thought about taking Dramamine unless I was at motion sickness.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that would help with regular nausea.
Yeah, Imodium and Dramamine.
Yeah.
And then they say not to take ibuprofen because you have to take Imodium on an empty stomach, and ibuprofen is very hard on the stomach, so you don't want to take it that much on an empty stomach, and you'll barely eat because you barely have an appetite. So Tylenol's the way to go. So I was doing Tylenol, Imodium, and Dramamine will be your best friend, and you will be in bed for 3 days just sleeping. I think I was, like I said, I was never awake for more than a half hour for 3 days. And even today, I still feel like I'm like getting it out of my system. It was rough, man.
Yeah, because I bet your stomach and everything is probably just like getting back to a point of like a regular schedule,
Yes.
if you will, where
Literally.
you're like the lining of your stomach is probably like
Oh,
inflamed
God.
and
Yes.
like you probably have a lot of inflammation on the insides, just
Totally.
like all of that constant movement and everything
Yeah.
happening. Oh God.
I know.
So hopefully by like next week you'll be back to normal
Yes.
fully.
So beware of the Norovirus and wash your damn hands.
And girl, turn the page, wash your hands. Turn the page, wash your hands.
Filbert, what'd you say? Yeah.
Rocco's Modern Life,
Yeah.
the turtle.
Turn the page, wash your hands. Wash your hands. And what else? So I just saw as well, Casey and I's anniversary was on June 10th, our wedding anniversary.
Yes.
And we saw Julia Louis Dreyfus was a guest on a podcast, and it was a live taping. Really beautiful theater. Gave me ideas for this situation, our pod touring. And
I love to tour.
I love. You, my God. I love to tour. Michael, I hate to tour. Michael, you can't say that.
Michael, you can say, okay, be more positive. Okay, I'll be more positive. Okay, so what do you think? I love the tour.
Oh my God. And
Oh God.
I will say this. The name of the podcast host just came back to me, but I won't put him on blast. But let me say this. Very well-known person in the podcast world, worked on, made content for years with MTV, the whole 9 yards. Like he seems like a career host turned podcaster. And because of probably all the people he knows from the TV days, I mean, his podcast guests are Julia Louis Dreyfus, Sydney Sweeney, just so on and so forth. Watching it. So we went there, watched it. It was to promote her new movie, Tuesday. It's an A24 film, which I love A24
A24
films.
is A24 is amazing.
I want to go to the theater and watch it with you. I'll
The
show you the
theater?
trailer after this. The theater.
What's the genre of this movie?
Julie Louis Dreyfus plays a mother, and her daughter is
Mother.
She plays mother, and her daughter is in her teens and has a chronic terminal illness. Death comes to them in the form of a bird, like a macaw, and it's clearly like magical. It's a little fantasy-ish. Comes to them, and like the opening in the trailer, he like says he's in the room with the daughter, and she's like, "Will you just come out and show her?" Because the mother's like, "Who are you talking to?" And he comes out and he says, "Madam," to her, and he's got this very like the voice, the bird. He's like, "Madam, it's time to say goodbye to your daughter." And the entire movie is this journey of exploration of Julie Louis Dreyfus needing to reconcile that her daughter is going to die. Like death has come to take her daughter and what her life will be like without. And it's the entire relationship between mother and daughter. First time director, a Croatian female director did this. Wow. Breathtaking. The trailer makes me like
I want to see that. I would watch that.
I cry every time I watch the trailer. So I can, and the fact that it's A24, it's going to eat even harder.
And I feel like any other production studio would butcher, mama. It would be a crow, and it would be like Edgar Allan Poe, like nevermore. Like girl, mama.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be tea, but A24,
the bird would be voiced by J-Lo.
It'd be like work,
this
mama.
This is me. Yeah.
I'm Jennifer. I used to live here. Jennifer who? Get off my property.
Go to the bodega to get her
Jenny
cheese
from the
sandwich and
Could
orange
you imagine
drink.
a crow? I'm Jenny from the block.
Getting her cheese sandwich and orange drink.
What does that mean?
I know. I'm so happy she had to cancel her tour because no one went.
She hates to tour.
She hates to tour.
Oh my God. That sounds amazing.
Yes. So that was really the point of it. But then obviously talk more about her career. But we leave and Casey looks at me and he's like, I need to know your thoughts. People aren't good interviewers. What I would give, you have Julia Louis Dreyfus. She is the most Emmys of any actor in history. She has 11 Emmy wins. Cloris Leachman is the next one with 8. A god of the Lucille Ball of our generation. And you're asking her whether she likes dogs or cats.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Lightning round bullshit. You have this captive audience of 200 people that are going to see Julia Louis Dreyfus live. This is obviously a very niche, you know what I mean, audience. It was gays, girls, and 70-year-olds. Me as an interviewer, and when I started doing this podcast, I researched and practiced so much about interviewing, how to construct it, all the research to do beforehand. But then when it comes time for the interview, the biggest thing I took away was that at the end of the day, it's a conversation. And the more you are actually listening to your guest, the better the interview is going to be. Plus that preparation of the inquisitive questions, down the bone marrow deep questions to keep it going.
Yeah.
Most people, when you watch interviewers, they ask a question and you can watch them not listening to the guest, preparing what they're going to say next. So
their next question is already at the frame of mind. They're looking at that card, and I will not say who it is.
Yeah.
But you...
Yes.
Interviewing people, and we'll just...
Yes.
Immediately cut to the question, looking...
Yeah.
And already formulating and looking at the next question, not actively listening, because when you actively listen, there could be organic chemistry. Because I cringe at those interviews with him specifically.
Yes.
And then I'm sure it was the same thing where you're forming imagine if they pulled questions from people that were in the audience.
They did. And there was 2 mentioned, and they were the most insightful questions uttered in the hour and a half. Yes.
Case in point.
Literally. Oh my God. Someone asked a question all about how like he's a writer and he always draws from personal experience. And I believe he had epilepsy, I want to say, very severely. And he was basically trying to ask her a question based on this movie Tuesday, dealing so much with grief and death, basically saying in my writing, I draw from the darkest moments of my life to do it. So did you do the same on the movie? Most insightful audience question. He's asking, do you like dogs or cats? And the thing about that listening is when you're listening like that, that's where the magic happens. Because if you ask someone, if you're interested, go back and watch my interview with Coco Peru. That's where I learned that it was a trial by fire, because that was the first time I realized, the guest is in control of where this interview goes. I have my little questions. The guest is in control, because when you're actively listening, or not actively listening, I should say, you ask them a question that then maybe prompts them to bring up something vulnerable where they're like, yeah, you know, my dead mother's the reason I did this. And the person's like not listening, looking at their cards. Yeah. And then in response to that, they're like, top or bottom?
Yeah.
to you talking about your
like
dead
high school.
That's what it was. And then even when it wasn't that, the questions he was asking,
surface level.
What was it like to be in the, Seinfeld is such a cult phenomenon and it never goes away and it's more popular than ever. What was it like to be in the middle of that? There are 9,700,000 YouTube interviews of Julia Louis Dreyfus answering that fucking question.
She's sick of it.
If I have a guest, my goal is to ask them questions that they have never been asked before. So it was so infuriating to me because it made me realize how much one of my dreams in life is to get to that point where I do interview people to that capacity, because I think to me, it's one of the most beautiful mediums, the storytelling medium between two people, especially when you're like Julia's podcast, which was such a big reason I've gotten so much back into all of her work and the whole 9 yards. So that was that, and it was frustrating. And then the other thing I was going to tell you was it basically gave me an idea / the courage to just like put a pitch together, and I'm just going to blast it out and do this, was I was saying to Casey, because between listening to Wiser Than Me, and this thing is like taking over everything. She won Apple Podcast of the Year. She won the Webby Podcast of the Year. It's unbelievable if you haven't seen it, because she has these older women on, Jane Fonda, Julie Andrews, Billie Jean King, and what they get out of their conversation is so insightful. And the point of it was, Julia was like, I feel like no one listens to older women, like, and the wisdom that they have as they get older. And maybe I feel like as gay guys too, like that's our tea. Like we can relate to that more, because I think who you and I are specifically, we relate so much more to the female experience than the male experience. So, that being said, I was saying to Casey the other day, because I was really thinking about like where I want to go in our next chapter and like big, big, big dream things. And I was saying, I want to do a goddamn TV show very much in the vein of Queer Eye and We're Here, more We're Here, because even Queer Eye, especially the original run and then the second run, the original run was groundbreaking in what it was, but it was all about helping straight men. And then the second iteration got shallow. It's very surface level of like, you know, we're cunty diva. Like, okay, We're Here is breathtaking. If you haven't seen the new season, it's Sasha Velour, Priyanka,
Latrice, right?
Latrice and Jada Essence Hall.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And what I love this season is that they're staying longer in one place to really go to the bone marrow of the people and the thing. And like the opening of season 4 is in Tennessee that has enacted the drag ban, and they do a drag show. Like it's like really intense. I want to do a show where it is a cast going around to women of a certain age and exploring the physical and emotional baggage behind why they maybe feel like they've lost themselves. I was telling Casey, I was like, I want it to be you and me. I want it to be a hairstylist. And then I want it to be someone who maybe specifies in psychology and that kind of self-esteem. But imagine the entire framework of it of we go in the house and it's you going through the vanity and pulling out, you know, the Helena Rubinstein and being like, okay, this is expired. Yeah. Like we are throwing this out. And then going into the next section of, okay, but why do we feel this way? Why have we maybe lost our relationship with our self-esteem and beauty and the emotional aspects underneath that surface? And then ending act 3, going into the shopping with them and personal shopping, going through buying the products, teaching her how to put everything on, how to do on a daily basis what she will be comfortable for, and seeing that full from meeting to transformation like these other shows. But I want to do it specifically for women of a certain age, because that has literally has never been done on TV and is not currently being done on TV, where it is a focus on older women and their relationship with self-esteem, their self-image, beauty. And you and I, that's like our demographic. Like we just hit it off with that age bracket and that person.
Yeah.
And like called like Finding Beauty or something. If someone steals this idea, I'll know where you are. And I said, I was like, I want to put this whole pitch together and outline this. And just Casey like found the director of content, basically programming at Magnolia Network in 5 seconds on LinkedIn. Like, and I'm just going to blast this out to these people and be like, listen, like I have 3 million followers on social media. This is our podcast. This is what we do. This is our demographic. I want this show on TV because I think no one is doing it. The last show I can even remember that was exclusively about giving that transformation to this generation of women in their third act is either a tacky makeover on like the Drew Barrymore show or The Swan, where they were putting them under the knife, where it was so vain and so shallow. And so we are going to physically give you plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Like, but everything else that is more of this emotional exploration and this really beautiful arc is for men, or like We're Here is LGBT people. Yeah. So that is such a niche I think could be filled
and tapped into. Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, we could get sponsors for this. Like, imagine during the episode, shopping at Sephora with the person and bringing Sephora in on this. Yeah. How Rare Beauty is. This is right up their alley. Like, oh my God. And at the end of the episode, to be able to give them like, you know, here's $1,000 from Rare Beauty to keep up like what we purchased. And like with their whole journey with mental health, the Wiser Than Me podcast just inspired me so much to think. Like, I was like, we don't see that on TV. Like that women in their third act getting this, okay, and not all of them, but you've lived your whole life, you've had your career, you've had children, your children have left, and now it's you, and maybe you've lost your identity.
What was I made for?
Exactly. And to be able to go in and give that to those
new
women.
perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Helping them find that again, find their relationship with beauty. I was like, that is a show I have never seen and don't see.
And I would love to see.
And I would love to see.
I would, if we start in it, I would still watch it.
And the reason I bring that up
Yeah.
is because after that live podcast, and I was like, okay, here's this person
getting these opportunities.
Has had a career on TV for 10 years and he's not like that old. He's got to be maybe late 30s, early 40s. A-list guests on this podcast.
Not knowing.
That has 1,000 reviews only on Spotify and like a 4.7. And I'm like, you have all these guests on. And I was like, you're not good at this. And I don't mean that but I left saying, and Casey said it before I did. It put in perspective that I was like, oh, like, we're better at this than we think. Like, fuck it. I want to do things like this because if he can do that, we can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jennifer Coolidge, I just watched a video the other day. She was like, you know what's the greatest thing, greatest motivator? She's like, watch shitty things. She's like, everybody watches the best thing and then goes like, oh, I'll never be that. I can never be that. She's like, I was like in college and she's like, I was so self-deprecating. She goes, and then I went to a production of Oliver. And she goes, and she's like, it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And she goes, and it gives you perspective to say like, to get out of your own way of like, you can do it. Like,
anything you could do, I
can do better, bitch. Yeah. Like, it gives
but
you
it
that.
really is true because I do think that we talked about this very briefly, but I think we get in our own way sometimes,
Yes.
you and I, and just thinking, oh no, we're between these four walls. This is what we got, but I think it's so much more than that.
Yes.
And I think we sell ourselves short.
Yes.
And this is not the time. And I think because what I've started to realize, even with certain things that I've done in my life, I shoot my shot, girl.
Yes.
I message people, I DM people, I put it out there into the universe because if we don't put it out there, nothing will ever happen.
Exactly.
And we will say, what if we should have reached out?
Yeah.
Or simple things like
Yes.
doing things in general. Like if we don't reach out, we'll never know and what's the worst thing that they could say? No.
Yeah.
Not at
We're
this
used
time.
to that. Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
it's fine. And I'm over it. I don't mind hearing no, but I hate that I don't put myself out there. And if I
Yes.
never hear back, I'm like, all right, well, I tried. That's what it takes though, because there's going to be an instance where they say, we love that. Let's
Yes.
talk about this.
Yes.
Then that's where shit happens.
Because I'm even thinking too, I just saw a guy on TikTok, like he's got a big TikTok following, just got a show sold, an idea for it, got it sold, got like other big people, his dream people as the judges for America's Next Top Influencer. Because that's what we need. So if that can get made, this should get made.
The one that shall not be named, the next makeup influencer YouTube show.
Oh, the thing that was going to get made and then it got shit canned?
No, girl, it was made. There was like a season of it.
I know what you're talking about. Patrick Starr talked about it.
Yes.
Yes. Patrick Starr
Trixie was on it and as a guest and everything. Like you got big
Yes.
people being a guest. Norvina was on it.
Yeah.
You got Ulta sponsored it.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
And it was insane. Like the fact that anything is possible.
Yeah.
That person had an idea.
Yes.
For this thing. It could have been fleshed out a little bit better because you have tunnel vision.
Yes.
Because it's always about you.
Yes.
And you act like you're God's gift. But look at the big picture. We're not in it. I'm not. And like, I think we are not in this to be selfish. The fact that this is a mission to help other people and it's not just to be like, get out of my way. I move ugly. I need my spotlight. Like,
yes,
this isn't for us. This is, it's a bigger vision for other people. And I think that's where it's different than these other, be the next top influencer, America's next top model, cutting a bowl cut. And saying, you lost, get out.
How ridiculous. I know. Because that's the thing as I've gotten older in my life is like, even doing this, I love it so much. Like what I do on my personal social media, the makeup reviews of like, you know, this is the best lip gloss I've ever used. Like that makes me, you know, decay inside. But the older I've gotten, and I think I've gotten so lucky to gain this perspective by finding a husband, loving him with every fiber of my being, having best friends, doing this, the peace and serenity of it, I go, oh, like I want to do something for the rest of my life in a career that I love, that is satisfying.
Yeah.
Even listening to a podcast like Wiser Than Me is so transformative that I'm like, imagine doing that. Imagine doing that. Like, that's the motivation.
Right.
We've done this for free for how long? Like, I don't give a shit about that. As long as I have enough money to pay my mortgage, it is what it is. It's about that satisfaction. Like, and I think there is such a need for something like that, and a celebration of women of that age in their third act and finding their relationship with beauty again and their self-esteem and their self-image. And
or maybe
I just
finding
think
it for the first time.
Exactly.
Some of these women have never had a relationship with beauty where they think,
I can do that
in those shoes to be able to. I've never felt beautiful, or I've never felt like I belonged in a certain type of situation where I'm like, where am I going? Like, and that's where the mindset can change. And I think it's what a great concept.
Yeah. So get to writing and send out those pitches. Youthforia, girl. So we were just down a rabbit hole of looking. Basically, when we say Youthforia's response, this is their response to the shade, not their initial drama of the launch of this skin tint not being dark enough. That was a whole blowback last year. Then they yada yada came out with shade 600, which is pure black pigment. We did the whole episode on it. Go check that out after this. Physically incapable of matching a human being. It needs an undertone. It was basically as though they released black face paint with a drop of white in it, so it's gray, and called it their darkest shade. It was an insult. It was horrible in every way.
Still in store to this day. I walked into an Ulta and saw it.
Well, that is part of the problem. So then they finally responded to now the shade 600 blowback, posted to their Instagram saying, our commitment to provide inclusive products. We care about our customers. As we continue to drive change, we are creating a new position internally dedicated to examining both our current products and those in development so we can best meet our needs. You can read more about our values on our website and learn more about the role on our careers page. Okay, so are your values getting called out for creating a dehumanizing shade that is physically incapable of matching human beings and keeping it on your website and your shelf after all of that blowback happened, currently to date, to continue making money off of it? Are those your values? Because I think they are. Yeah. And the position they posted, just ridiculous. Your typical, internal...
We're going to meet with community leaders.
Diversity, yada, yada, yada. Fuck you. Like,
name them. Who are they?
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you meeting with? Who are you partnering with? Because, I'm sorry, but I feel like after Tarte, and the many times that Tarte has been in the same position, have we not learned when you're launching a complexion product, if the shade range isn't equal parts in every category, equivalent to one another, and dark enough at that, obviously in that regard,
we don't want to hear the indie brand excuse anymore.
I don't want to. I'm done. Then
the
don't
small
launch
brand
it.
excuse. Exactly.
Then pull it all off the shelf and stick to your pH lip balms. And why don't you call it a day, mama?
If you can only afford to make 10 shades, then there better be an equal dispersion from the lightest light to the darkest dark.
Too
across
fair,
those
too
10.
light, too medium.
And then you fill in the gaps. You don't make, because her excuse with the first round was basically saying that I'm a small brand. We don't have a lot of money. So
this is the darkest it goes.
The standard is to make 10 shades for a test group, aka, and depending on how it's received, then we expand.
So anybody dark deep is not in the test group.
Included in the test group.
So no, not for you yet.
Yes.
Or maybe ever.
Equally disperse it over the lightest light to the darkest dark so everyone has access to it, and then you fill in the gaps. You don't make 10 shades of beige, and that's my thing. That argument, we've been there in the fucking beauty industry so many times. If we had a nickel, like I said, Tarte has this apology written out on their wall at corporate. But
in Comic Sans.
Yes. Papyrus. Yeah. If you do that, which they did, Youthforia, and got called out on it, then, which we covered all this in the last episode, you then went, ugh, here, fine, and made a black face paint that is physically incapable of matching someone's biological skin. So you combatively and confrontationally responded to that blowback. You're a makeup developer. You should know, or someone in your team should know, that that shade was physically incapable of matching a skin tone.
And then lying about it?
So now you're bad at your job.
Unapologetically racist.
That's what I mean. Unapologetically not inclusive. So you're also bad at your job, that you don't have the wherewithal to know that that won't match anybody. But I think you did kind of know, and you still thought it was a flex. So
saying this is the darkest
doubling
shade.
down on your foolery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now all that happens, and you've yet to respond to that actual criticism, and posted an Instagram story saying, we're going to hire someone, blah, 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 blah. We don't care.
Okay, step one of all
you're
of
still
this,
selling it.
Discontinue the product.
Yes.
Because I know for a fact the whole team at Youthforia knows what has gone on, that this is not appropriate and this is not a shade.
Yes.
Why is it still in stores and not pulled off the shelf immediately? I understand signage might still be there. Physical product for sale should be nowhere to be found.
And to any influencer that bought it just to try it and make a video or to capitalize on it, shame on you for giving them $1 and you're a horrible person.
And that's why it's still there.
Exactly. And that's why they kept it on the shelf, because they anticipate your narcissism.
Yeah.
And hypocrisy of the next time something happens, you're buying the shade and giving them money to talk about how they're awful people. No, you're also an awful person because you bought it and gave them money.
Pull the picture up and say, this isn't appropriate, but don't give them your hard-earned dollar, even if you're going to return the product.
Yes.
So because that still counts as a sale for the brand, it doesn't hurt them.
Yes.
That's fine because they anticipate the returns. That doesn't hurt them.
Yes.
Because buying the product, even if you're going to return it, is still shameful. Don't even touch it. Just pull up the photo. There's plenty of people that have swatched it.
So that's what I mean, man. At this point, to me, it's an issue of like, just close up shop, because you're obviously bad at your job. Obviously, if you don't know that pigment, what you created would not, from a scientific standpoint, would not physically match a human being, let alone the emotional aspects, let alone the intellectual aspects. We're talking just science-based. You have no business owning a cosmetics company.
And in my opinion, personally,
it's a wrap up in here.
There is no, at this point in time, and now after all of this, there's no coming back.
No.
What are you going to do? Makeup that you could sleep in? First of all, jail. Mark Cuban, too. You bought into that. Oh, that sounds great. Shut up.
That's how it was sold on Shark Tank.
Yeah, that makeup you could sleep in. It's so natural and good for you. Nothing.
No, it's not.
Nothing.
You know what else is? Face wash and moisturizer.
Because that's the only thing Mama's going to bed in. With my little honk shoe me mask and my little hat and candlestick to get up in the middle of the night to go pee, Mama.
Yeah.
That's all I'm sleeping in.
Yes.
It's foolish. It is horrible, horrendous. I never want to talk about Youthforia again because if I
Not that they had a chance to come back from this, but this response...
come back from this, Mama, it's a wrap. Because first of all, who was buying it before?
Yes.
Second, who's going to buy it again?
Trust me, any of their lip and or skincare products that you enjoyed can easily be duped by Florence by Mills. So go buy that.
And Winky Lux.
Winky Lux.
They do pH lip balms. So moveon.com.
Yes. On that note, let's take a break and come back with a gal that knows a lot about inclusion, Miss Rihanna, and dissect Fenty Beauty as a whole and Fenty Hair.
Girl, Miss Fenty Beauty is at it again.
Fenty Hair.
All right, so
I feel like I went like this with like my feelings on this, and like I said in the beginning, I watched Robert's whole take on this, and it was interesting. I think Robert has the ability, the gift, to be a little bit more positive than us. So I think it made me think back on the inclusivity of their launch and that magnitude and that impact. So I kind of I stepped back and I went, okay, question number one, is this filling a market gap? Is this making, let's say, as it did makeup accessible in shades and etc. to people of color when the makeup launched. Is it going to do the same with hair?
I think, yeah.
Yes. That's not to say there aren't other brands that are doing that.
Pattern.
Which this also isn't to say against that, isn't to say, we're not saying, because
One
there
brand
should
can do
be
it all.
more,
Yeah.
but there is accessibility to that product. And then this was the other caveat for me. Mama, it's the price. That is a big, I think, part of the conversation even pertaining to the makeup. So that was kind of where I was starting in my head, my reaction to this, but we'll dive deeper. What was your...
So in general, I'm going to call it the Fenty umbrella now, because we had makeup.
Conglomerate.
Launched into skincare.
Nary an album in sight.
Yeah. Launched into, which she said she's going to step back into the studio, apparently.
Oh, okay.
And then we launched into fragrance, and now we're into hair care. So in the Sephora world, we have now gone
fully
encompassing every turn, every corner of the store she is going to be, having space in. My thing, my gut kind of like, I squinted my eyes, tilted my head when a couple months ago, somebody from Kendo, who works on the Fenty team, who shall remain nameless because she could have gotten trouble, let me know that Fenty Hair was coming. And I kind of was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
But then in my head, I'm like, she's trying to capitalize on, making her money and doing what she does. Now, when I think of Fenty as like a brand, and when I think of Rihanna as a person and as now a brand herself, I don't think of hair care.
Yes.
I really I'm like, fragrance, totally get it. But like, even that, I was like, you were wearing Killian Love Don't Be Shy. And then all of a sudden now that gets shelved. And then you're like, but I have my own and I've been wearing it. But since when?
Yes.
Because it was all Killian. You were the reason Killian Love Don't Be Shy was hot.
Before or after your discount code with them expired.
Correct.
Yeah.
In my eyes and thinking, putting on like my retail hat of like how we make money, anniversarying your numbers to last year, when Fenty Beauty was hot, how do we reignite that flame for people when a year comes by? And we've talked about this before of like the downfall of Fenty when it was so hot and everything was flying. When I tell you off the shelf, off the shelf, mama, she was sold out, #1 brand in Sephora.
Yes.
Now, obviously, has been taken down by Charlotte Tilbury, that is the #1 selling brand. I just don't understand. So like when we...
For what?
Mama.
Girl, what are people buying from her?
Everything.
What do you mean?
Everything.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Everything from Charlotte is top selling. Everything.
I find that shocking.
I don't.
We'll save it for a new episode.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It'll be like a hotline of people calling in, of us sitting here just being like, what do you buy? Like, what? Because I can't wrap my head around.
And we'll get I have everything.
Yeah.
Like, girl, I don't know. I just don't know.
Lipsticks done by every other brand. Powders, dusty. Liquid, dry. Like, what are we... Okay.
So then we launched skincare and fragrance and everything. And I think the part that kind of bothers me is that I feel like in the board meeting of like Kendo and thinking Fenty is like their golden child because it did so well when it first launched. Now I feel like we're trying to, out of all the Kendo brands that are left, this is the one that they have stretched the thinnest.
That's what's happening.
And every launch now feels very like lost, and the identity is too like, with the lip oils that just launched, that they're all shimmery gold bronze, and then with bronze liners and the shimmer blushes, and I feel like we're just trying to
settle for mid.
Yeah, at this point,
that's
it's like,
how I feel.
Sometimes the packaging is cool of the product from Fenty, but then I'm like, but more importantly, what's inside?
It's either amazing.
I'm like, and with hair care in general, I'm excited because there is Tracy Ellis Ross has Pattern.
Yes.
Which is widely available at Sephora Ulta, and it was Target, but I don't think anymore.
Yeah.
And Fenty now being at Sephora Ulta. I'm excited that people can access Fenty a little more easily, and it's not as spread thin where it was hard to get.
Yes.
But that was kind of the magic of Fenty. When you got your hands on it, there was something that was like, oh my God, I got it.
Yes.
Now.
But I will also say this is what aggravates me with this whole Sephora and Ulta brand business is my hero product from Fenty Beauty is the Fenty Pre-Show Glow. I can't get it at Ulta because
Fenty Skin.
Ulta doesn't have Fenty Skin. And then at Sephora, I can get it, but only the $40 one with the mitt. I don't need another one every time because then just the refill of the bottle is sold online. So where is Fenty Hair going to be? You know what I mean? And is only half are the shampoos over here and then the hydrating ones are exclusive to this? Cut the shit. If it's at the fucking store, put it at the store. I can't deal with anymore. If I can't keep up with it, how do regular people on their the 10 minutes they have between work and going home to be with their family on a work day remember where a certain sector of a certain line of the Fenty conglomerate is or is not sold at? Yeah.
What's exclusive where, what's online only. And that's the thing that's frustrating. And I say this to say Fenty Hair might be an amazing formula.
Yeah. Because with the videos for Fenty Hair, like it made me go like, okay, wow. As someone that puts their hair through it, I was intrigued.
I'm and that's the thing. I'm very intrigued because I think it sounds nice. And I have a list of products, but
yes,
I just don't know.
Price.
There are certain things where I feel like we took what Pattern did well with like the edge control and the brush and hold gels and curl defining creams. And the curl defining cream is 28, the gel is 26, the edge control gel is 18, and then the tool is 18.
Yes.
Very accessible, but at that point, so is Pattern. So what's going to set you aside because all of these things are supposed to be repairing. So, and I get it because how many repetitive products do we have that, we want different brands to do different things, but I'm just looking to see
absolutely
for who is this for, because then the people are saying, is this wig and weave safe? Is this good for all styles? Is this good for all hair types from coily, curly to everything in between?
For me, I mean, looking right out of the gate, like the packaging is meh. It's giving, I could name 5 brands that I thought
it looks
this
like
was
Isle
from
of Paradise tanning because it's like purple, green, orange.
It looks like that. It looks like Tatcha. It looks like these things from a distance that I
want fun. Give me fun packaging.
Exactly.
So it's very stock. That's what it feels like.
Very much.
Very stock packaging, stock formula.
That's one thing. But then you're getting into, so we have like a damage repair mask treatment balm builder, $36. Shampoo and conditioner, the rich one, moisture repair, $29 each for the shampoo and conditioner. So we're spending $60 on shampoo and conditioner, so on and so forth. All of these price points are $29, $28, $28, $26, etc. Here's my thing. Same goes for the makeup, especially at the makeup's price point. When a celebrity gets into a space, you are naturally going to gobble up a certain amount of market share based on your celebrity and, like Robert Welsh articulated, the parasocial relationships fans of Fenty have, fans of Rihanna have with her. You're going to gobble up a certain amount of market share just because of who you are. And especially now, Fenty, almost to her credit, has a certain amount of cachet that people who maybe weren't Rihanna fans that went to Fenty, fell in love with something. Now Fenty has a certain amount of cachet that now expanding into fragrance and expanding into hair is going to gobble up a certain amount of market share. Okay. Going back to your makeup brand, Fenty as a beauty brand has kind of just slowed the car down to autopilot at mid. We've still have major holes in our product breadth in the beauty line. Where is the powder blush? Where is the less drying matte formula or alternative for that? Where are the powder eyeshadows? There are other areas not only still left to conquer in that world, even within certain things, improve upon. We're kind of halting all that to come out with more with Fenty Skin and now come out with Fenty Hair. So now putting those two thoughts together, my favorite hair mask is the Keranique hair mask. It's the same price as Fenty's, maybe a little cheaper. I think it's like $36. Are you gonna put these dedicated solo hair care brands out of business by gobbling up their market share to, in 5 years, stop Fenty Hair at mid the way you're doing your beauty brand?
Or
that's my problem.
Stop Fenty Hair completely.
That's what I mean. You as a celebrity entering a beauty space, if you're going to enter it and gobble up that market share, you got to see it through to the end. And my issue is that you're putting Fenty Beauty, and you have for quite a while now, on the back burner to expand into more categories when we're still eating the same noodles in the back pot. What are you going to do with these expansions down the line? And a good point of comparison was Rare Beauty just came out with the Gentle Exfoliant, the body wash. And I read a comment under the Trend Mood post of going like, she should rebrand this as Rare Skin. No, she shouldn't. When a skincare brand comes out with a makeup product, do they launch an entire new fucking line called Drunk Elephant Beauty? It's one thing.
Right.
Rare Beauty is the line. If Rare Beauty
can mean everything.
More than makeup.
Yeah.
I love that she didn't. Beauty encompasses everything down to toenail clippers, if you'd like. She came out with 5 or so products, 5, 6 products in this, body care need. It's still under Rare Beauty, which lets me know she's still thinking of it as a whole. That's my thing with Fenty. We're getting in a quantity over quality situation. Which is starting to get fatiguing.
Yeah, because when you look at
for a top dollar price.
Oh, and I think
everything at Rare Beauty is $10 cheaper than yours.
Yeah. And the frustrating part and even the cohesive thought of everything coming out. So like you said, there's the market gaps that I know for a fact that one of the listeners let us know before they signed the confidentiality that the lip liners from Fenty are finally dropping, which should have come out when your lipsticks came out.
Especially
cohesive
considering
thought.
we have about
How
1,900 lipsticks?
And all the glosses coming out and everything.
Yeah.
That everything, when you look at Fenty, every time I look at it and when there's a new launch, it's always like mishmash all over because we're running out of space.
In my mind, it's always lips. It's just nothing but lip products.
The
and
whole
I can't
end
take
cap
it.
is lip products, random eyeliners, random brow products that no one has looked at since it launched.
Because you know how you even saying, okay, so you saying lip liners. Excited. We haven't seen lip liners from Fenty.
But what colors are we doing, babe?
Exactly. You also saying lip glosses, I got a chill down my spine. Why? Because at this point, I don't even know. I've gotten so lip product fatigued from Fenty Beauty. I don't know what to believe. What is good? Which of these 100 lipstick formulas?
You have ice, heat, cream, and the original.
Girl, which
and
one
now
of
oil?
Like your lip, and that's not to include lipsticks. Then we have sheer lipsticks. We have medium coverage lipsticks. We have the icon lipsticks. We had these lipsticks that had color, and then they were
Sweet.
Discontinued. We have so many fucking lip products. What's good here? Out of everyone here, who would be the 3? Literally.
Pick them
and stick them.
Well, because, and here's the thing too, with the lip gloss, because it worked for you, do that. And don't come out with anything else for a while. And stop coming out with the one ice, the cooling one.
Yeah.
In the weird blue clear. I'm like, I get like, okay, it feels good. I like it.
Yeah.
Did we need it?
No.
Because what is ice doing? What's the benefit of it being cooling?
And as a, in my opinion, I mean, quite literally, she is one of the most expensive brands under a fashion house brand. As a luxury brand, in my marketing opinion, what is the silliest product to continue pumping out to go, oh, we haven't fed them in a while. Let's throw 5 more beige lipsticks their way. Lip products. The general consumer, a $30 lipstick, pardon my French, is the last fucking thing in a makeup category I'm going to buy for $30. I am not going to buy a $30 lipstick. Are they good? from the ones I have, they might be discontinued and there might be 900 different ones from when I've, worked with them and did the icon lips. I don't even know what's on the gondola anymore because I'm overwhelmed by the come and go and the change of the lip category. I don't even know if the ones I can tell you are phenomenal are still even there, if the colors are still there.
They're running out of space.
But if I was a regular person that wasn't waterboarded with makeup PR, a $30 lip product is going to be the last thing I purchase with my own money. Because Maybelline, Revlon, L'Oreal lip products are as good as anything you're ever going to purchase. Lip liners included, lip glosses included. So why is that the constant, let's feed them with 5 more of this, 5 more of this, and they're slightly different formula.
You know
this
why?
Is a slightly
Because
this.
it's a cash grab, though. That's
you're
where
watering down the brand.
Yeah. You're taking your iconic product. Let's take the lip luminizer gloss, the original. You expanded the shades. Love that.
Fenty Glow.
But then why are we doing heat, ice, cream, 40 different versions of a gloss? Because you're nervous.
Which I've been a makeup artist for 10 years. Couldn't tell you the difference. What is the difference between ice and heat? You know what I'm saying?
And then cooling.
I don't need my lips to be cool. What does that mean?
Is it going to cool them and shrink them now?
That's what I'm saying.
I heated them up and plumped them? Oh, no, too much ice.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
So
what are we doing?
Icy hot lip gloss.
We're cold compressing.
Yeah.
We're 20 minutes
I'm
on,
Shaquille
20 minutes
O'Neal
off.
in my icy hot commercial with
Gold
my bag.
Like, I don't. Yeah.
I just, babe, I need it to stop because that's...
It's fatigue. The best word I can describe for Fenty Beauty is fatiguing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think
I'm burned out.
Nobody from the brand will admit it, except for behind closed doors when people have talked to me from the brand saying they're in trouble. Because they're not making the money that they were. And like they're overall, it's just not doing what it was.
Go back to your mission statement, which was launching our brand with some of the biggest, most difficult products to formulate in 40 shades. Yeah. That's what you did well. So I don't need any more lip colors for the next year and a half.
Yeah.
Come out with 10 powder blushes. Come out with 10 powder foundations that won't make me look like a corpse in formula, dryness. Yeah. Come out with translucent setting powders that won't make me look like a corpse. That's building your core collection. Before we go into fragrance, before we go into skin, before we go into hair. So now I'm getting $30 hydrating shampoo and conditioner.
Before I have a lip liner.
Boom. That's my problem. I'm sure it's fine. But to be honest with you, I'm not going to go out and buy $30 shampoo and conditioner that from Fenty that I don't know what this situation is like. I don't know what the formula is like. You have no reputation letting me know that you're an authority in this subject. So like I said, I'm not going to pull my support from a brand like Keranique or Biolage or Tracy Ellis Ross's brand. How fucked up, how sad for her now. You know what I mean?
That she's going up against Fenty Beauty, which has been dominating in Sephora.
You know what my other thing is? How many brands are there? What's that one? The Shea
Moisture.
A brand like that has catered to people of color's hair for so long. Yeah, that's what
they have
bought.
Specific wig and weave treatments.
Girl. Yes.
They have specific like coily hair treatments, curly hair treatments, wavy hair treatments. So depending on your curl pattern, they have it broken down where instead of the one size fits all, this is good for every hair type.
Yes.
That's not really possible, babe. Why not break it down? Because pattern broke it down. That they have curly, coily, different treatments. If you have like, if it's like 4C and if this is your curl pattern, this would be great for you.
It's giving luminous natural matte of the hair care world.
It's the Guerlain Aqua Luminous Matte Foundation. Yeah, babe.
Take Shea Moisture, who even then beyond that, that's what we bought when you had your boils and sores from when we did blonde.
My scalp.
Aftercare after getting a perm or relaxer or whatever, irritation and sensitivity from the scalp. You're going to impact brands like that now that have been catering to people of color for how many years at a more affordable price to give up on Fenty Hair and put that on the back burner in 5 years when you launch Fenty Nails? You know what I'm trying to say? You're gobbling up so much of the market share at a dull simmer, launching into 50 categories.
Fenty Baby.
You can walk to school. Fenty Baby. Fenty Home.
Fenty Man.
Fenty Man, seriously. Fenty grooming products.
Fenty Groom. Not Fenty Grooming.
Yeah. Fenty Home. Like, when does it end, mama?
But it won't, because and I hate to even put it this way, but it's the Kardashian branding of it all.
We're getting there.
That it's going to be
even
the Fenty
packaging.
It's going to be the Fenty garbage can and the Fenty curtains and the Fenty stove and the Fenty pots and pans.
And even the packaging. Like, think about her. And I was thinking about this in bed last night, because this is what consumes us, thinking about recording today.
Dua
in bed.
Yeah.
The packaging of everything originally. The hexagon packaging.
Cool.
Even to have the matchsticks, which never liked that formula, and
magnetic,
they need to be,
and now they're not.
Okay, I was gonna say that was so cool in the beginning. The hexagon packaging, so those matchsticks that went together.
Cheap.
Now with Fenty Skin, we went to the lab and said, I'll take generic 101 conditioner bottle in Debbie pastels.
I'll take pastel peach mint lavender.
Like, literally. And we said it on our James Welsh episode with Fenty Skin when he was saying it. I was like, and I like made him crack up because he's like, I don't know. He's like, Fenty Skin is just getting, and I'm like, Florence by Mills. And he was like, not Florence by Mills,
yeah.
But mama, Fenty Skin is getting a little Florence by Mills. Everything is in a generic plastic lavender packaging. If you're not gonna put your whole bussy in one thing, don't expand yet.
Fenty, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It's not fun anymore. Are you having fun
tonight? Yeah.
I'm not having fun tonight. I stick my hands through the steel bars and yell because I'm not having fun tonight. Oh.
I hate you so much. I hate you more than 1,000 dubs. Mama,
I just want to stick my hands through the steel bars and yell because I'm not a free woman.
Where did this post go?
Now you putting your glasses down like a mother.
Yeah, damage repair. Let's
here.
take a look up at this up in here.
Yeah, we have the Comeback Kid.
The Comeback Kid damage repair bond building mask, moisture repair shampoo and conditioner. Which, was it me, or did she not say every single product was repairing? So why do I need a specific repair shampoo and conditioner?
If I already have the mask to repair.
I get mask because that's isolated.
That's actually
whatever.
repairing.
But we have just a shampoo and conditioner. Not the richer moisture repair deep conditioner. And we also have a repair mask.
So there's the rich one and then the richer one.
Okay,
so there's the more hydrating version for different hair types.
Okay, well,
so then
I don't think anyone wants
hair.
their hair less like. I would like to buy a product that's going to be the most hydrating. Thank you.
Your glasses are scaring me.
No, this is who I am now. This is what Rihanna's done to me.
The protective type, heat protectant styler. I'm into it.
Not for $28. This is my problem. You know what I mean? What's in yours?
She could be charging a whole hell of a lot less, but this is where they're trying to capitalize on the brand and the name.
You know what, mama? Because I get that. Not until Selena Gomez did a celebrity of that caliber say, I'm going to launch a makeup brand, drop the mic, and you know what? I'm going to make it a mid-price point. Not till Selena did that happen. So with Fenty Skin and Fenty Hair, since we needed to make it, brand new departments with different headquarters and different Instagrams and different everything, we could have righted our wrong. We could have lowered the prices for Fenty Skin. We could have lowered the prices for Fenty Hair.
And the prices keep going up.
But we're choosing to charge $30 for a shampoo. Who are you in the authority of hair to make me spend that much money? Mm-hmm. That's my problem. It's the price. Because even if someone does fall in love with something, pre-show glow, do you think I enjoy spending
$40?
And that was why I said what I said before. I could spend $34 on just the refill, but I can't buy it in store.
And I don't have the
because
patience
this
to
one
wait.
and this one and this one and this one has an exclusivity on this and this and
But
this
then
and this.
other refills are sold in store, so why is that one not?
I'm tired. I am exhausted of it. It's so...
And you have the space. You have a 6-shelf linear
Yes.
for Fenty Skin, and you can't put the refill.
Does that include
right
end
next to
caps?
No, that's just Fenty Skin, mama.
Yes, you're right.
Fenty Skin is 6-shelf linear.
Yes, yes.
The gondola for Fenty makeup
I
is
know.
a 3-bay and an end cap.
Fenty Beauty didn't launch in isn't new. It launched in 2017, because I was still working at Burberry. This has been around for 8 years. The products that are still on the gondola that are mid and could be improved, you're well aware of. Pull all of them off, move your 3-bay gondola down to a 2-bay beauty, 1-bay skin, keep the best hits, and instead of working on hair and fragrance and nails and toe clippers, make Fenty Beauty and Fenty Skin the fucking best it can be. Come back by making the beauty a 3-bay again with all this newness. Move your skin to the sides with all the newness and all the slap amazing. And then going down your hair route. It's too much. And I know quick sounds funny in saying 8 years, but it is. Too much, too quick.
Too many avenues in that
Quantity
less
over
than
quality.
10 years.
Quantity over quality.
Because, and even, let's take a Charlotte Tilbury, for example, that we have makeup and skincare right now.
Yeah.
And a couple body SKUs with skincare, but so are Fenty's. And now fragrance.
Yes.
It's almost the same trajectory, though, of doing, let's do makeup.
Yes.
And then we're going to do skincare. And now let's test fragrance. And I
know.
bet you Charlotte Tilbury hair care isn't going to be far down the line.
I know.
Magic hair cream.
I have to kill you. Yeah. Literally.
Hollywood flawless hairspray.
Oh my God. Don't bite your goddamn tongue. I know.
I'm
Because we
just
just
like,
got
I'm-
Charlotte fragrance.
Yeah. So I bet you
Yeah.
hair is next.
More sex. It's the name of one.
I love that one. I love it. Ooh. I love that one. The rest are too boo-boo the fool for me.
Yeah.
Smelling like Home Depot plants over there, mama.
Yeah.
That green one smelling like walking children in Home Depot nature.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And can I say, I think it's delusion that we think Fenty Beauty is in a place where, oh, she's thriving on her own. She's grown up. We don't need to magnifying
Yes.
glass her anymore.
Yes.
Mama, we are losing the authenticity of the brand. It is growing mold and it is expiring on the shelf. Please stop.
Yes.
Have a good, and the hydrating foundation that got discontinued, and now we have a soft matte foundation again that's somehow oil controlling and hydrating. This is what your first formula should have been.
Which
discontinue the matte then.
Because this was brought back like it was going to be the replacement for
Of
the
the
hydrating
hydrating.
foundation, and it seems more of a replacement for the matte. So
Because it's somehow oil controlling and hydrating. So that's what the first formula should have been, that shine control,
Yeah.
but still leaves a balanced finish on the skin.
Yeah.
That's what your first one should have been.
yes. So take the concrete matte foundation away, and
Leave that to breathe.
yes,
And you could have said, this is the updated formula for matte.
girl, there
It's
is so many things to fix. That loose powder,
Those press powders, why are they not more sheer
girl.
to be a little more universal?
What's the do they see? That's what I don't even know
8
what
shades.
it still exists.
There's one to match, one to brighten, one to match, one to brighten. Love that idea.
the loose ones,
Yes.
with the diamond, the silver top.
2 for each category,
There's like a
light,
lavender.
medium, tan, and deep. So 8 shades.
But didn't they have like a lavender and whatever? Okay.
For light, medium, tan, deep, there was a brightening shade, lavender, and then there was one to match, butter.
Girl,
and then it went brightening, match, brightening, match,
I
brightening,
did
match.
my beauty blender in that powder once to set my concealer.
Honey, darling.
It took my concealer off.
Johnson & Johnson.
Shuamora oil cleanser setting powder took my concealer off.
Yes.
Fix what you got.
It's a makeup removing powder. First of its kind. Rebrand it.
Speaking of fixing what you got.
And maybe if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So a MAC employee generously They didn't know the launch date of these because they're still not out at time of filming, and it is the 12th. So MAC Fleshpot.
The new one.
The new one.
So you got your hands on this only through the... Just as I thought. You got your hands on this through basically a friend who worked at MAC who just like sold it to you because she wasn't told she couldn't.
Yeah, because the Pride palette was launching on the 6th, part of the 40-year anniversary collection that's part of like Viva Glam. Then there was Bring Back lipsticks, which apparently I got tea that Bring Back lip liners, the spice thing and everything, those are still happening, which if Candy Yum Yum is not part of the Bring Backs, and if it's not the same shade, I'm going to fight, because I swatched Miss Fleshpot to my Fleshpot at home. It is nothing of the sort. This was too peach. The other one was, and I swatched them in store. I swatched all the Bring Back shades of the lipsticks. They are nothing of the sort. Every single one of them. There was a few that were like way before my time that were like from the 80s and early 90s that I just don't remember. This is nothing of the sort. This Fleshpot, foolish behavior, tomfoolery, some identity crisis, walks in the room. Who are you? You're not my dad, and you never will be. Because
that motherfucker back there is not real.
Mama, this is not Fleshpot.
Yeah.
When I put it on with a darker lip liner, I'm like, it's fine. It's cute. It's light.
It's not Fleshpot.
But it's a light peach, and it's not the color of Fleshpot.
How have other brands come closer to duping Fleshpot than you? You know what I mean?
And
Because that's a significant difference.
Because I remember screaming a scream on this
I scrumped.
On this podcast, hearing that Fleshpot was going to come back just a few short weeks ago.
Yep.
And the fact that it's here, and when I rolled this up in the store, and when I tested and I said, this isn't, I said, And when I went home the day I picked these up, and I put one half on my lip and the other half, and I said, you have the original formula somewhere.
I know.
And you said, this is good enough.
Yeah.
So now with spice and the lip liners coming back and maybe glosses, who knows with the 40-year anniversary, because it looks like they're doing this in segments.
Yeah.
Girl, just leave it alone.
I know.
Maybe sometimes things are better off dead.
Yes.
Because, girl, this Pet Cemetery fucking version of Fleshpot, you're not my child and you never will be. You're not the same. Maybe you should have been better off dead. Because Mama, you're not the same.
I know.
As once you were. Mama, look at that hot peach.
Yeah.
This is Revlon Nude Kiss. This is oh my God. The way that I'm just like, you had an opportunity and I bought 3.
I know.
And I do, and I will say I love this color separately, where it's that light peachy nude to really, like, if you have a little bit of a tan, this will be actually like the color of Fleshpot against your tone. But don't call this Fleshpot.
Exactly.
I would buy this color separately.
If you called it Fleshpot.
Fleshpot
2.0.
2.0, Mama.
Yeah.
Don't call this the original. Because I love this, but this is not her. Absolutely. She is not it. It is not she. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to a brand new episode of Beautiful and Bothered. Make sure to head over to the Beyond Bothered Patreon if you haven't already. My God, there's so much content up there already and nothing but more coming. So if you want to continue the fun, head over there. It's super affordable. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for your video episode one day early and leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts needs a little bit of love. We broke 1,000 reviews on Spotify, but we need to get the Apple Podcast reviews up. So head over there and leave us a little review.
And I didn't know, free app. Go to the App Store if you don't have it.
If you have an app, if you have a
Apple device,
if you have an iPhone or an Apple device, you've got Apple Podcast on there.
Yeah, you go. I didn't have it on my phone. I went to the little Appy store, downloaded it.
Yeah,
and I said, "Oh, 5-star review. Thank you.
That's you.
Me, Mama." And I'm leaving my own damn review 1 star. Would not do again. No, don't you dare.
Oh my God.
Wherever you are, we hope you are happy, safe, and healthy. And remember,
you are beautiful. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Show it to me, Rachel.
Show it to me, Rachel. Show it to me.